this one. And he was telling me it started in Alhambra, and then we made our way here into LAPD's jurisdiction, which is why they are now the ones in pursuit. Currently in Koreatown, again, 6 units of the LAPD that are behind this guy. And there was another incident in Southwest Division, which is right next door. I think that was also a very short chase. So if you're seeing police activity in that area, that has come to an end. Those suspects are in custody. But this one here, continuing here through 8th Street here in the Koreatown area, still continuing.
Well, wouldn't you guess it?
Avenue.
Would you look at that? What kind of Dodge Charger is that? Black. We're downtown. Unfortunately, we got Eliana Moreno overhead in News Chopper 4. We got ourselves. I just finished the post-game show. Armed robbery suspects. We are downtown Los Angeles, running red lights.
Temple City or Temple City sheriffs were the original agency on this. They do believe that they are armed, is what I'm hearing right now.
Oh God, another armed suspect. We saw how this went with the Anaheim PD. Just finished the post-game show on Sirius XM, right into a chase here on a Friday night.
This driver becomes predictable and they can set some spike strips up ahead of him, then hopefully he'll run him over and the car will start to have the
spike strips ahead potentially. Night sun overhead. Boogity, boogity, boogity!
Headed northbound.
Let's go chasing here on a Friday night, 10:26 p.m. Second chase of the day. Chases breed chases. We have armed suspects here in pursuit with LAPD behind.
Still see 6 units of LAPD that are behind this guy, along with the airship overhead. The window is down there for just a second.
I'm using a different display capture, so it may be a little bit more, I don't want to say glitchy, but the audio might be delayed by a second or so. Apologize about that, but I wanted to get this chase up as soon as possible. The armed suspect from the Anaheim PD chase is unfortunately deceased. We have another one here. This is LAPD. It's not Anaheim PD. Different protocols. We are near Koreatown.
Not incredibly fast speeds, but is dealing with a little bit of traffic here. So hopefully he doesn't get too desperate. Had the green there, but is turning instead.
Oh, it's a blue Dodge Charger. Sorry about that. Lights are out. The back left rear light is out.
So this is going to take us
Copy.
toward the Hollywood area.
Copy.
Okay, coming up to a little bit of traffic.
All right, at least we got a green light. We're headed towards Hollywood on a Friday, so traffic is only going to get worse. This feels like an on-ramp. Usually when it veers like that, okay, it's not. It's just a fork in the road. Beverly Boulevard headed west. So hopefully, at least we're getting out of downtown LA. And these pursuit buildings will not be as much of an issue.
So it just got real busy here on this Friday evening. We're also hearing about another following in the Lakewood area.
There's another chase?
So we got an airship down there following that car.
Oh my goodness, we might have to double box. If one of the news networks goes to the other chase, we might have to double box.
But again, these are armed robbery suspects in a blue Honda.
Lakewood is Downey. Lakewood jurisdiction, LAPD Lakewood is down in California.
There's no information on it being a stolen car, so
we're gonna stick with this one because Eliana's overhead, but chases do breed chases I told you, it's a Friday night. We had a chase earlier today. The stars align so that we're gonna have a busy Friday night. You cannot leave the station Friday night around 10:30 local time here in Los Angeles. There'll be chases all over the place, and a chance of one of them making it to television like this, or the odds are much higher than usual as we continue on. That's a solid red light that we're going through.
Okay. Tapping on the brakes yet again. Oh, because he's running the red light, of course. Trying to clear the intersection.
I get so many people that come into the police. Where were you guys for the post-game show? Do you not care as much about NBA anymore?
Coronado, still in the Westlake area.
Too funny. It's different audiences. I kid.
Thankfully.
RJ Nelson in the chat, thank you for the subscription. He probably can't hear me because he said he's currently streaming from the Fish Show. Watching from the Fish Show. So if you can hear me, thank you.
Through the Culver City area and eventually ended on the 90 freeway, the Marina Del Rey freeway. with 2 in custody.
We don't care about Adam Silver's playing. It was a good game. The Hawks versus the Heat was a good game.
Okay, so really slowing down here. I wonder
We
perhaps
paid
this is
to
an
be
area
here.
that they are familiar with and are looking for a place to try
Too
to
funny.
ditch the car and take off
These audience consumption habits are so funny.
A familiar area that happens as well.
Ant says I paused episode 9 of The Pit for this. What a show. What did I tell you? The Pit is ER, the sequel to ER. For kids that weren't alive for ER, they get what it was like with The Pit for sure. Noah Wiley was Dr. Carter in ER.
Headlights is out.
I'd rather pay first for chase streams. Hey, no shame. No shame. I appreciate you either way.
Now, real quick, I'm just going to say
It's hard for me to leave this apartment during the playoffs because did a Twitter stream earlier. That's free for everyone, the Twitter streams. You guys have no excuses to miss that one. Anyways, we continue on here on Coronado Avenue. We are just west of downtown LA. This feels like Ejectocito territory, but we have a night sun overhead. We got Eliana Moreno in News Chopper 4. We have potential of another chase going on as well in Downey at the moment.
Yes, thank you.
Copy. You're supposed to say copy.
Back with you guys here. We were getting a little
Appreciate
more
you, George.
from our assignment desk. Just kind of,
Let's lay out for Eliana.
Our initial thoughts on this armed robbery suspects. It was Temple City sheriffs that were looking for these guys. They're not the ones that originated the pursuit, though. As far as I know, the chase actually started in Alhambra and made its way into Los Angeles. So that is why LAPD is now the primary agency here in pursuit. We haven't heard about them being on the freeway. They did get very close to getting onto the 110 freeway, but never did, and have been on surface streets ever since. Currently slowing down significantly here, Beverly Boulevard at Park Avenue.
We got P. Mitchell in the chat saying that he lives or is down. Ooh, Telemundo from Ellie. P. Mitchell in the chat says there's crazy choppers in Koreatown. So you've got this night sun blasting all of the residents down there. You got multiple choppers buzzing because this guy won't leave the area. That's a solid red light that we're going through.
Se desconoce exactamente dónde y cuándo, pero la policía de Los Ángeles ahora está persiguiendo a estos individuos. Es una persecución que ya lleva aproximadamente 20-25 minutos. Velocidades no tan altas, como pueden ver, aproximadamente 20 millas por hora.
Smirk in the chat is asking, is LA the only city who broadcasts these? No, we see Miami occasionally. Oklahoma City's another one. But a lot of cities don't send their helicopters to cover police chases, nor do police chases really occur all that often in other major cities, but it's kind of the way of life here in LA. If you ever come here on vacation, you probably think I should be going to the Hollywood sign, be hanging out in West Hollywood. But no. What have I told you to do? Grab a lawn chair, go park yourself in Downey, California, and just wait for the police chases. Everywhere is police chases. All day, every day. Baltimore occasionally too.
Did say it was 2 initially, but they did stop for a quick second. They got out of the car and they got back in. So at that point, I'm not sure if they both got back in or just the driver. So at this point, unclear if it's still just one or if it's 2. But both described as male and again believed to be armed, who were involved in some sort of.
You guys hear how her voice tone changes? She has her streaming voice, and then she has her television voice, and then she has her we're off the air voice.
And made its way into.
She gives it a little gusto.
It is now LAPD that is in pursuit.
Copy. Then there's the copy voice.
I am hearing them talk about spike strips, so just as we were mentioning before.
Spike strips if he stays in Koreatown.
Because these people are believed to be armed, but a spike strip, they can do that, especially since they're becoming pretty predictable at this point. Now southbound Union from Beverly.
Shout out to everyone subscribed to the channel. We're in a level 3 hype train right now. You're going to have a lot of people complaining about ads here in the near future, but if you want to prevent those, simply connect your Amazon Prime account, or I think it might be a tier 1 qualification, and you'll have ad-free viewing. We appreciate everyone that takes the time to do that, but if not, we'll see you on the other side. We're here with Eliana Moreno, News Chopper 4. And you know she's
hearing them talk on the scanner, and
oh.
For a second there, they were talking about a pit, but then Okay, of course, remember that these are possibly armed suspects. So
Can't pit armed suspects unless you're Anaheim PD or Hawthorne PD. Spike strips are the way to bring. He's got to feel the night sun, the pressure and the heat of that night sun overhead. Go Heels in the chat. That's a random Go Heels, but Go Heels. Someone put a Doge in the chat. I appreciate you. That's a very cute dog.
So we'll see if they do try one here at one point. I do
Yep, we're on 3rd Street now. We're in a pretty popular area here in Westlake.
Get another southbound turn, this time Columbia from 3rd.
Hanging out in Westlake.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Bourbon poured, announced by Jay Hamlin. Friday night. One of the most fun things to do when I'm home on a Friday is turn on a dash cam or what used to be live PD or cops or something. Just the structure of that show is just so intriguing. I know it was all produced, but
in fact been going on for about 40 minutes. So started just before 10 o'clock. So I would place it at about 9:55, and it did start in Alhambra as we thought. They got a hit on the license plate. It came back as a wanted vehicle, and that is when the pursuit began. And of course, Alhambra PD does have their own.
You guys call me a boomer like you think it's an insult. If I could choose to be a boomer, I'm a millennial, I would choose to be a boomer. Boomers had the best. They had it the best. Millennials had it the best. Boomers had it the second best. Oh, look at all those people on the sidewalk.
Technically, that's not necessarily their area, but we're right next to
average age in this chat. Well, average age on Twitch is probably 19 and a half. Adults don't use these apps anymore. Adults use like cable. They use cable and YouTube, and that's it. Anyone my age and older, cable, Netflix, and YouTube.
But we're just a little west of that. Continuing on 7th from Lucas Avenue here in Westlake.
Why is everyone putting... Did I ask for everyone's age? Anyways, we're continuing on. That's another solid red light. But the good news is the red and blues are lit up here. That is a big pursuit building. That looks like the 110 freeway under this overpass.
This pursuit, but they actually canceled it because of the erratic driving. Of course, in this case, LAPD was able to take over the pursuit, so they are now the lead agency.
Oh no, we're approaching that tunnel downtown.
Our lives are about to become a lot more difficult.
Yep, there's the same road we were on last time. This is where we lost him. That same pool near the bridge, or near the tunnel. If you take that overpass.
Favorite tactics that we have witnessed lately from some of these pursuit.
So many pursuit buildings.
That they drive themselves into parking structures, which of course makes it very difficult.
Look how sharp Eliana is. She knows.
But in this case, there's still 6 units behind this guy, so he's going to have a tough time losing these 6 units that are behind him.
I got plenty of energy, meet Tornado. I'm just trying not to get a noise violation, and I've also been on the radio for about 7 hours today. My voice is crippled.
Before, but didn't get on the freeway.
Oh, that's a great. I would love a cigar right now, but what a cigar would do to my voice. Oh my God.
But never really got on the freeway, and has been on surface streets the entire time that we've been overhead. But again, this chase has been going on for 40 minutes. Started in Alhambra PD's jurisdiction.
Ileana is super high, by the way, because you have to go over these skyscrapers. I think Dodger game's over. If there's a home Dodger game, it's 10:40. That's in the scotch too. Oh my God, scotch and whiskey will destroy my voice. I need it tomorrow. I'm going to the Laker game tomorrow. I mean, I have a problem because the Knicks are playing right before it, and I got to find a way to watch the end while being a good guest with you know who. Can't be going over. Can't be with her and just looking at my phone the whole time. Copy.
Okay, going to be making a right-hand turn onto Pico. So this is going to put us very close to Crypto.com. We've been here before. It was before we got overhead, but I did hear about, oh, look at this, pedestrian.
Pedestrian in the crosswalk.
I mean, don't be in any hurry, buddy. Come on, you got to
Well, he has no clue. That's why people just go through crosswalks on their phone like, oh, green light, I'm just going to walk through. I got my head on a
And these are
swivel like I'm
armed
on a
robbery
football
suspects. So
field,
this
man.
is a very dangerous
People do
chase,
not
even though
abide
it's
by
not
laws. If you
a very
think
fast
you won't get
road.
hit by a car because you
These
have a green
people inside
crosswalk
of the
light,
vehicle
especially
are
in this
wanted
city,
for committing
always
an
be looking
armed
both ways.
robbery somewhere in the Temple City area. It's unknown
NPC
if it was
energy.
to a business or a residence, but it is two very
If it was,
dangerous
I'm
people
walking
that
over
obviously
here,
the LAPD wants to
give
take
it a
into
nice New
custody.
York
And originally started with
LaGuardia.
Orlando police, but the crime itself happened somewhere in Temple City's
No, not a
jurisdiction.
girlfriend.
The chase been
Jeannie,
going on now for
obviously.
about 45 minutes.
And Jeannie says, come
LAPD
to the
let it
game.
go
You don't
because
say
it was,
no.
simply too
Even if there's a
dangerous.
Knicks game
That
on,
is
so I
when the
gotta go.
LAPD Central Division officers picked it up, and we're back on Washington, which is somewhere that they have been before. It was before we got overhead. We did hear that they were driving on Washington, and that is where we find ourselves now, and picking up speed here as he continues on Washington toward Grand.
That would have been a great place to pit, but they're not. I don't think they're even allowed to pit if there's potential that this is an armed suspect.
Sure enough, gonna turn. This is a turn on Olive from Washington. We're in South Los
Look at some of these
Angeles.
chats. Wait, Wob knows Genie Bus like that.
Central City
This is
area
my problem. Like,
South Los
this
Angeles.
is the problem with being on the internet for so long. I have to always continuously create content. A new audience has to. I have to create an understanding that there's always going to be new people coming in the door. So people that have been following for 10 plus years are probably bored by it at this point. There was a Doge? Did I miss a Doge?
Los Ángeles de la División Central que sigue persiguiendo a este vehículo, un Honda azul en color con dos sospechosos de robo armado que están tratando de huir de la policía. Pero es una persecución que empezó en la ciudad de Alhambra, pero los oficiales de esa ciudad dejaron ir al vehículo porque la situación se había convertido muy peligrosa, pero después de eso fue que la policía de Los Ángeles se unió a la persecución y ahora son ellos que siguen persiguiendo a estos dos sospechosos.
Someone in the chat said they thought they saw the second unit as a canine unit. Who's a good boy? See, PY Real, I understand that. You say I'm just a Worldwide Wob Chase enjoyer, and that's completely okay. I have a lot of different genres of content. NBA, police chasing, some of the others. I don't do the pop culture stuff as much anymore, but I don't expect everyone to be up to speed on all the stuff I'm doing. If you so much as choose one of many, I'm much appreciated. And if you're here on a Friday night joining us, I'll take it. Different audiences. Got my SiriusXM crowd, I got the Twitter crowd, I got a YouTube crowd, got a Twitch crowd, got a police chase crowd, you know. Question in the chat from Store Brand Coke. Why does she keep randomly switching to Spanish? Yes, the answer is she does simulcasts, Eliana Moreno, for Telemundo as well as NBC4. That's the sister network that does Spanish primarily. Potential for spike strips, but you're going to have to really guess correctly if he's not making circles in the same area. Spike strips, you'll have to guess, put some cops near like on-ramps of highways and pick a couple of corners that if this car happens, this Dodge Charger happens to drive by, then you get lucky and throw him out there.
Coming up to Central here, he's fun on Adams.
Dude R. Baker says it feels like it's been a minute since we've gotten a burrito drop. I did one quite literally yesterday. That's another subset of WAP content. I have burrito drop, like people who are fascinated by burrito drops. It's just so stupid. But then a majority of the audience is like, what is this? What is he doing? I'm like, you don't get the show. The show includes multiple channels. See, I love burrito drops in the chat, and then the next comment is, what is a burrito drop?
The one on the passenger side actually doesn't work. And I think one of his taillights might be out.
I too enjoy the skip genre. I've got some cute little skip pictures for you guys.
The car looks like a Honda Civic to me. Older
No, Eliana, you know better than that. That's a Dodge Charger. Just like before, everyone was arguing it was a Ford Mustang. It was such a Dodge Charger.
That are wanted by Temple City sheriffs. what I'm hearing is that officers are trying to confirm how many people are in the car, because again, initially it was 2, but for about a minute they got out of the car and then got back in, so it's unclear at this point if they both got back in or just
You guys want to
one
see
of them.
Skip as a puppy? Oh, look at Skip as a puppy. He's so cute. He's a good boy. Look at that little harness. That's a beagle next to him. So I'll give you a comparison of size. How little he was. Oh, he's so cute.
It's a little scratchy. Could I try PV?
And this is what he's become. That's how he sleeps. Not a worry in the world.
Thank you. So this is Jefferson Avalon. You just heard me talking there to.
Oh, that's a good place for a
our
pit.
engineering department, because we are getting ready for our newscasts.
Oh, we're gonna 14 minutes away from Eliana giving us her TV voice.
We'd love it if you could join us there. But for now, we're going to continue our live stream here as the driver just.
When am I posting another sneaker picture with a ankle? No ankle socks. Yeah, I'm gonna do one towards the end of the month. I need it to be like 4 months in between so that people keep falling for it. Otherwise, they'll be onto the bit.
We did hear before we got overhead that the suspects had actually gotten out of the car, so we assumed that they had bailed, and they did for a moment, but then got back in. So at this point, it's unclear if they both got back in, because I haven't seen a passenger. I've seen the driver, obviously, a couple of times when he's rolled down his window, so we can tell that he is what looks to be a younger man. But in terms of whether there's a passenger, that's really hard to tell. I haven't really had a chance to look, and LAPD hasn't been able to confirm it either. So obviously at least one person, maybe 2, that were wanted for that original armed robbery out of Temple City, that are now leading LAPD Central Division officers on what is now a very lengthy pursuit.
Smoking Darts 69, 16 months and counting. I see you and appreciate you. Thanks for your sub. You keep subbing, we keep stream. I sure would like an update from my t-shirt guy about the new merch, because it does look good. I hope it can get into the store. Let me see if it's in the store, actually.
Okay, through me here on Adams.
Copy. Let's see. We got an All Roads Lead to Downey shirt. I don't think I see.
Okay.
We have a Per Missile shirt.
Adams and Hill.
We have a Code 4 shirt. Not the new stuff. We need the CBC shirt. I don't know what's up with the other chase. Eliana had the scanner on that one, not me.
Adams and Hope.
Let me look up a scanner.
Going to be coming up to some
Pacific.
traffic here, setting up for the turn as he comes over the freeway.
Are we going back downtown again? Wait, that looks like that's. Yeah, that's the 110.
That we've been overhead.
We're still downtown. That's
Prior to
Figueroa.
us coming overhead, the chase had already been going on for about 20 minutes.
I think we're
or so,
downtown
and it
again.
started
We're in like
with
South
audio police
downtown.
when,
Adams and
license plate
Figueroa.
reader picked up the car and it came back as a wanted vehicle, and so they tried to pull it over, but the
Thank you
vehicle
to our
failed.
Nightbot, who has once again used artificial intelligence to scan the stream and determine what type of vehicle the suspect is driving, and it has determined that it is a Dodge Charger.
No talks of CHP getting on it because we haven't been on the freeway.
Yeah, he's near USC, so he's like just southwest of downtown.
That is behind and above this blue Honda that is
No, Eliana.
Hoover here on Adams, but it looks like we're going to turn. So it looks like it's going to be a northbound turn onto Hoover from Adams.
Yeah, USC area. We're at University Park now. That's the wrong side of the road. This feels ejectocito-ish to me. Hitting the gas. Night sun overhead. Really hitting the gas now. This is like the stop sign. This is like the perfect 3-star chase. This is, if I could ever describe what a 3-star chase is. He almost T-boned that car in the driveway.
So now we're in University Park, so we're getting
It's got to be Ejectocito time. And the chase was going on for 40 minutes before Eliana got there. "10 minutes until 11 o'clock news here in Los Angeles. Chance of Eliana making it to the network, and then you're going to see the graphics change on the screen too, I think."
So we're right next to USC.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, if you're just joining us, these are armed robbery suspects.
Is placenta in
It was
play?
originally 2, but we may be down to 1.
Someone came up with the name chase, by the way, for that one. The Pit Senta chase.
To see if they get an answer on how many people may be in the car. But again, originally it was 2. They got out of the car for a moment before we got overhead, but then got right back in. So unclear at this time. Wrong side of the road here for
Oh my
just
God.
a moment, but I think
Why?
they're doing it to try to make that turn, and there we go.
Hard left turn.
Just
This,
make that
God,
turn
this is
onto
the
20th
activity
Street
of someone who's
Boulevard.
about to eject Ojito. Trying to create enough space to eject Ojito.
So what they're saying is that this is the area where he tried to dump the passenger earlier.
What did I tell you?
So they think that
I
this
can
is
tell
a
based on
left-hand area
the
there
way
that
they
they're
hit gas
following.
after making the
And
turn
fact
is
that
they
said
want to
that he tried
they want to
to
create
dump the
enough
passenger
space
off
to feel
earlier.
comfortable in
They
getting
say
out of
that
the
the
car,
passenger's
and
still
they won't
in
do
there,
that.
But again, they haven't been able to confirm that. Bud Long from 20th, and again, officers were told to be very careful through here because they think this is an area where they might try to either jump out or surrender. So we'll see what happens here as we continue zigzagging our way here through the Adams Normandy area.
Yes, ma'am. Talk dirty to us, Eliana.
Double parked cars here, so they said be careful through there.
Copy. That's the safe word.
Okay, and we're back on the major. And here we go again.
Oh,
So,
making circles. This is
definitely an area
now
that they
a
said
chance
is
for
familiar
spike
with,
strips.
kind of zigzagging on
If you keep
in
hovering
same
around this
streets,
area,
like
it
the
will
same
attract
streets.
spike strips. And now we're really hitting the
Just
gas.
about
Look at the
right past
speed
that
right
opposite.
past a unit without their red and blues lit up. Copy. Stop it. Eliana's OnlyFans in
La
blue.
persecución ahora continúa aquí en el área de Adams Normandy. El vehículo es ese carro azul, un Honda, con posiblemente dos
Who said
personas
Bob
todavía
Sanders
a
in the
bordo,
chat?
dos sospechosos de robo
My
armado,
favorite football
un robo
player.
que
Second
ocurrió
favorite
en el
football
área de
player of all
Chapel City.
time.
Pero la persecución empezó alrededor de las 9:55 de la noche con la policía de Alhambra. La policía de Alhambra eventualmente le dio la persecución a la policía de Los Ángeles y son ellos que siguen persiguiendo a estos individuos aquí en las calles residenciales de Adams
He's
Normandy.
the hardest hitting safety I've ever seen in my life. Not even close. Not even close. And all the greats that you mentioned, they had longer careers, but no one hit those 2 years like Bob Sanders hit.
Still in that same general area
People
where the Air
people
Force
got
said that they
erased
tried
from
to,
this planet.
drop
They
somebody
got
off earlier.
Thanos'd when they got hit
So
by
they
Bob
think they're
Sanders.
familiar with it. They think
Nope.
they're gonna
You
try
can
again,
name Dawkins
or
and Ed
they're gonna
Reed
try to
all you
bail in
want.
this
They didn't
neighborhood.
hit like Bob
So thinking
Sanders
of
did.
speed a little
Sorry.
bit, the speeds really haven't been incredibly fast. I think the
You
fastest
can keep
speed I
naming
saw was
names in the
somewhere
chat.
in
They
50
did. I
mile an
promise you,
hour.
they did not hit like Bob Sanders in 2006 and 2007. Those 2 seasons, I have never seen a safety. Still to this day,
I
I've
am
been on this
hearing that
planet
there's,
37
what
years that
appears
can
to be a
hit that hard.
civilian vehicle that is following behind the LAPD vehicles. Now, obviously, officers are concerned about that because they don't know if this is a friend that the suspects have called.
There
to
was
come
like
pick them
a
up.
special type
But,
of
in
whiplash
some
to
of these
Bob Sanders'
situations, what
hits
I've seen
that
is it's actually,
he would decleat
independent
people,
news photographer that
and you
that
could
will
tell that it
sometimes
just
trail the
created
pursuit, so they can get
parts
that
of their body to
termination shot.
reverberate
So
that
that
you
may
knew
be
they lost
what
days
that
of their
vehicle
lives
is,
every
but it
single
could also
time you
be a
got hit by
friend,
Bob Sanders.
that these suspects have called. So that's why LAPD wants to figure out who that is that's
Yellow
following,
light into a
in
red
that
light.
Dodge
Okay.
car, and try to talk to that person, make sure that it's nothing suspicious. But again, that's a Dodge that they're concerned about that's trailing the police vehicles. The suspect car here that we've been following is a blue Honda. But
No, it's a
yeah,
blue
what I'm
Dodge
hearing
Charger.
is,
actually.
a Dodge SUV is
Oh,
the one that they're
Dodge?
concerned about that's trailing the police vehicles. So they need to talk to that guy, figure out.
Oh,
if,
did you guys hear
it's
that?
just, someone new who's
There's
just
someone
trying to get
tracking
on
the
pursuit,
chase,
or if it is
following
someone
the
that's simply
chase,
trying to help
in a Dodge Charger, and the cops are worried that this is someone that might want to. It could be a nightcrawler. It could be someone who's looking to Paul Walker challenge. Could be a nightcrawler. It could be an intervener. Dylan in the chat says it has purple underglow, and I've seen it a couple of times. Okay, I did not know that until Eliana brought it up. It's someone from the chat. If you're just coming out of an ad break, there is someone following this chase right now with a purple underglow to their vehicle, and the cops are worried that he might try and intervene. But we've seen multiple nightcrawlers be on the scene almost instantly, so certainly qualifies. MOK Boulevard ahead, coming off Normandy. We're still in South LA.
So we're not seeing them try to pay, even though the speeds are perfect for it, because they believe that these individuals are armed, and so for that reason...
What was that guy thinking when Treeroy Jenkins... he wasn't thinking. He was Treeroy Jenkins.
Nose to nose with an armed individual. So for that reason, they're not going to try it, but what I am hearing them say is that they would like to set up some spike strips in front of the car when the time is right, when they can pretty much predict what road this person is going to be on to try to do that. But at this point, they really haven't had a perfect opportunity. So at this point, we really haven't seen any pursuit intervention tactics taking place. But the driver continues to run red lights here.
Paul Walker Challenge, question in the chat, what is it? Paul Walker Challenge is where you dump a vehicle and you get into another one. Same way in the original Fast and Furious, where they dump it in the alley. And or you seen Too Fast, Too Furious, where they all come out of the garage and they can't figure out which car they're in? That's a Paul Walker Challenge. Copy. 3 minutes till 11 o'clock news, and we're going to get Eliana's presenting voice. Yes, Eliana Moreno, News Chopper 4. We're following a pursuit of allegedly armed suspects that come out of downtown with high rates of speed. She's really going to deliver. She's leading the news, too. News Chopper 4, exclusively overhead. Night sun above. Is the odometer accurate? Sometimes. Depends. I wish you guys were alive.
We're continuing to follow this police pursuit here and now through South.
Wish you guys were alive for the OJ chase. If you would be, you would have a whole new appreciation for LA chases. That was the OG.
We, of course, appreciate your viewership if you want to tune in at either one of those. And, of course, we'll continue our live stream here as well as we continue to watch.
One of these days, we will get a professional athlete involved in a chase, and it will be your version of OJ. And I will be here to stream it. We'll know exactly. It'll be in LA. It'll be like an Antonio. Remember, we asked this question: who's the athlete most likely to get into a police chase? And it was an Antonio Brown by far at the time. Like a Tyreek Hill is a candidate. Ja Morant feels like one. Oh my God, can you imagine? That would be my like, I don't know if Super Bowl is the. There's someone in the crosswalk there. That wouldn't be my Super Bowl, but that would be. It would be a way for us to infiltrate different niches and of internet content, because everyone would be watching it. Imagine if Nico Harrison was in a police chase. Draymond. Oh, I missed a copy. I gotta stop talking. She just said copy. Copy. She's coming up right now. 11 o'clock news coming up next.
Southend. We are, Kathy, and currently making our way southbound here at Normandy and 60th Streets. And now these are two armed robbery suspects in an older model blue Honda, possibly a Civic. And it's a chase that's actually started with Alhambra police. They were running plates on vehicles, and this car came back as a wanted vehicle. It was wanted by Temple City Sheriffs in connection with an armed robbery. Now, we don't have too much information on the robbery itself, whether it happened at a business or at a residence, but they started chasing the vehicle, and Alhambra police actually backed off because the chase got extremely dangerous. But that is when LAPD Central Division officers picked it up, and they've been on it ever since. It's been going on now for just over an hour. And again, LAPD Central Division officers have been on this one despite moving into different sections of the city, including Westlake, Koreatown, downtown Los Angeles, and now South LA.
Cheers, Jay Hamlin.
So
Throw one back for me.
LAPD is still trying to figure out, Kathy, because they know that there were two men that were involved in the armed robbery. So initially, they believed that it was those two individuals that were in the car. But we did hear right before.
That's a hard left turn, by the way.
Suspects had actually gotten out of the car and they were running away from it. But then
did you see the light just turn to a flashing yellow?
It's unclear if they both got back in or if just the driver got back in. So at this point, LAPD officers are still trying to confirm if they have one or two people on board. And I was just hearing them on the scanner. I think they might have said the vehicle's actually a Hyundai.
A what?
Either a Honda or a Hyundai, blue in color, older model.
Hyundai.
That continues to
no, Dodge Charger.
LAPD officers here through the South LA area.
Nightbot, please correct Eliana. It can even scan the screen from this wide angle that she has.
It's too dangerous, Kathy. They've considered spike strips if they can figure out some of the streets that this individual is going to be on to try to lay out a successful spike strip in front of him. But at this point, a pit maneuver is going to be out of the question because they believe that this is an armed individuals. So for that reason, they don't want to put the lives of the officers in danger.
We're in restricted airspace at the moment. That's why the angle is so distant.
When they spin the car following a pit maneuver. So at this point, that has not been authorized, but I have heard them authorize a spike strip if they can set it out on a street that they know that this individual is likely going to be circling on. And for a time,
all traffic lights in South LA flash yellow at 11. So did we watch? I never knew that. J95 said that. So it turned to 11 o'clock the moment it went from red to flashing yellow. Never knew that. Only South LA?
From there, a significant distance to the south. And so at this point,
okay, at least now he's making a right-hand turn coming back towards Eliana. Yes, Monkey, the suspect in the Anaheim PD chase is deceased. Can we zoom in a little, Ellie? Thank you, Ellie.
Yeah, very consistent speeds. I think the top speeds that I saw were about 50 miles an hour, and that didn't last very long. He brought it back down to about those 30.
As a Canadian, I think I know the streets of LA now. You know all the major thoroughfares, highways, interchanges, crossroads, where Downey is. That's wrong side of the road, by the way. We're swerving. Maybe spike strips there. Yep. Anytime you see them swerve randomly like that, spike strips ahead.
That lane that he was on. So I believe there was a spike strip there, and he was able to successfully avoid it.
If you see erratic driving like that, it's usually to avoid the spike strip.
At Cimarron in South Los Angeles.
Boy, am I tired. Streaming is hard, man. How do people stream for like 9 hours a day? I'm doing like 7 hours right now between various shows, and I'm fucking pooped. Barely get out of the house to work out.
Absolutely, and thankfully he hasn't crashed into anyone or anything. But we did see some.
It is a hard job.
With a pedestrian in particular, where he came right up to a guy who was crossing the street. But thankfully we haven't seen him crash into anything. He is missing one headlight. It's the front passenger
Tail light.
headlight.
The back left is out too, Ellie.
I am hearing about his tires. So the officers on the ground can, of course, see the vehicle a little bit better than we can.
Oh.
And I'm hearing them talking about a potential flat tire.
Wrong side of the road.
So hopefully we'll cross our fingers that that is the case, because that would definitely aid in bringing things to an end if he starts to lose tires.
So I don't think he hit the spike strips, but it does sound like we might be losing that front left. Does it look a little wobbly to you all? It seems to be intact. There's an intersection coming up. That's a green light. We're hitting the gas. The gas pedal still works.
I do a little bit. It seems like we're seeing a little bit more fast speeds, a little bit more erratic. I know that when this
Night sun's still overhead.
The police, that's actually the reason why they let it go. It had gotten just too dangerous for them, but thankfully LAPD was able to take over, and they've been on it ever since. Even though we've moved into different sections of the city, it's still LAPD Central Division officers, which is typically the downtown LA area, that continue to chase this guy. And we do have a police airship overhead, hence the night sun there. At no point has
Night
it been
sun,
on the
drink.
freeway, so the CHP hasn't gotten involved, and there's no
Remember that
talks
time
of
we did
taking over
the
at
drinking
any
game
point,
with Desmond
because
Shaw?
we are
Every
on
time he
surface
said night
streets.
sun,
But as
I
I
had
was
to
saying,
take a
it's
shot.
just a little bit
That was a
more
long
desperate.
night.
Again, the officer behind him,
Those are the
apparently
Periscope
saying
days.
that, this guy might have one flat, if not one, maybe even two. So hopefully that will finally bring things to an end. But then I'm kind of nervous about what may happen at the end, considering that police think that these are armed individuals, and desperate people with a weapon could lead to a bad result here at the termination of this. Let's cross our fingers that this doesn't happen, and that this comes to a peaceful resolution. But continuing to zigzag here through a residential area of South Los Angeles.
Chili God asks, what does night sun mean? That very bright flashlight that is now beaming down on top of the suspect from the helicopter. That would be called a night sun.
Yeah, it was out of Temple City Sheriff's where we know the robbery occurred. What we don't know is where did it occur? Did it occur at a residence, or did it occur at a business? And
Almost clipped that Dodge Charger making the right-hand turn.
That part is still unknown, but we know that that's where the crime itself occurred. And then it was in Alhambra that a license plate reader in that city picked up the plate, and it came back as a wanted vehicle. So they tried to pull him over.
Mounted the curb there. That's not going to be good on the tires.
They chased him for an unknown number of times.
Are we in, these are some nice houses. Are we in Hancock Park? This might be Hancock Park.
Over an hour. I believe the exact start time was at about 9:50.
These are some huge houses. It still says South LA, so probably not. I can't believe some of those houses in Hancock Park. Oh my God, I've been over there a couple times recently.
I did, Kathy. It was about 6. So we did see 6 units of the LAPD that were behind him. And I'll also mention that there was something that officers were kind of concerned about, because trailing that line of officers was an unknown civilian vehicle. It was described as a Dodge SUV. So they weren't sure if that was just somebody who was perhaps just trying to document the pursuit or being nosy, or if it was somebody that the suspects had called to try to pick them up at some point. So officers wanted to stop that car. I'm sure they have by now, but they wanted to stop that vehicle and talk to that person and figure out what the heck they were doing trailing this line of officers. But again, it was a pursuit that started in Alhambra, has been going on now for over an hour. 6 units of the LAPD still in pursuit. At one point, it did go into surveillance mode, which was no units.
Someone in the chat said Applebee's has rats.
We do now see those 6 units behind the suspect.
Applebee's is fucking banging. I love Applebee's, man. I enjoy a cheap meal at a restaurant. I'm glad I'm such a simple person. I don't need a lot in my life to be happy. A nice cheeseburger, some good fries. You can get that at Applebee's.
Yeah, we can't really tell, especially at these speeds. Going as slow as he is,
Chili's is good,
not really,
I like
affecting him
Chili's.
that much,
Chili's is the best,
I've
probably.
looked at the driver's side because we're on this side, and I don't really see any damage to the tire. So if there's anything, I believe it may be on the passenger side. And on that passenger side, the headlight is also out. I believe the tail light
No,
is out
I'm
on
a
the driver's
medium
side.
guy.
So this car's just a mess. So it's only going to be a matter of time before he has some sort of issue. I believe he's also
Like if you're in a small city, if you're in the Midwest and you have an Applebee's, I bet that place is awesome during happy hour. It's like the main restaurant that everyone on the middle of South Carolina goes to on a Friday night. I bet that place is popping. That's where I would. Oh, pulling over, making a left-hand turn. Is this a parking deck? Or we just that was a fire hydrant. We're on the sidewalk. What on earth is happening? Eliana. Eliana.
My pilot James Pollard is going to bring us around so that we can see the vehicle there right under the tree.
Eliana. James.
You see that he is being surrounded here by LAPD officers. But this is really their opportunity to slow things down. Now that the car has come to a stop, the officers will get out of their vehicles.
Happening?
They will draw their weapons. If they have a police canine, they will
Doge?
out as well. And,
this pursuit tree is really testing my patience.
Person inside to peacefully surrender.
This pursuit tree. Look at the entire street. There's no trees anywhere. Why did he pick the fucking pursuit tree to park under? Every time it's a pursuit tree.
Yeah, they know that there were two people involved in that original robbery, so they assumed that both of them were in the car. But one of
Let's see, any canines? It'll be written on top of the vehicles. I don't see canine written on any of them. Are we code 4? What's happening?
Who we know is a male because we could see him through the window. The tint wasn't that dark on this car, so it did give me a chance to look. But I couldn't really make out if there was a passenger. And
did he get stuck?
I think he's just jammed.
He's stuck? What in the Treeroy Jenkins is going? This is how Treeroy Jenkins happened, by the way. He was stuck in the tree, remember? This is how Treeroy Jenkins became Treeroy Jenkins. We could have a sequel here. He's stuck. What a fucking dumbass. How dumb are some of these people, man? But there's plenty of room to the right, isn't there? Or is there another tree that we can... Like, what do you do? Why would you make a U-turn there? Of all places.
And it's very difficult to see, but I do
it's
see
Groot.
The driver's hand, at least one of them. And we're trying to work
I am Groot.
Around the other helicopters.
Oh, you're right. He might be on a route.
Space to get over the car a little bit better. Of course, the driver's side part of the vehicle is going to be completely jammed, so he's going to have to climb over the seats and climb out the passenger side. But there may also be a passenger, so we may see at least two people come out. I do see one person coming out. Right
I am
now.
Root.
If that's the passenger or the driver, that is still unknown to us, but we're going to find out very soon here.
He's stuck in that little... Yeah, he probably drove over the route, messed up the sinking, tires, suspension, axles messed up, and... Pursuit route.
Yeah, so there's really no way for the driver to open his door, and even if you try to climb to the back seat, I think the rear side door is also jammed. But I do see one person coming out right now. I see him standing up against the side of the building there.
All right, we got someone out of the vehicle, up against the wall.
They want to get him as far away from the vehicle as possible. And again, at this point, we don't know if this is the driver or the passenger. But after all of the call-outs are made, that is when the officers will approach.
Who said in the chat? I was rooting for him too. I was rooting for him. That's funny. All right, we got hands up against. We have a standing Patrick Starfish. Hands up against the wall. We're going to be arresting the individual here momentarily. That is now complete. Now we must clear the vehicle, and we are on the verge of code 4. Prepare your 4s in the chat.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be our only guy. So they have him there. They're searching his person right now to make sure that He doesn't have a weapon on him or anything else that could harm the officers. And I do see that secondary team of officers that is clearing the car right now. They looked at the seats. There's nobody there, but of course they always have to pop the trunk to make sure that nobody is hiding in the trunk.
Not code 4 yet.
There,
Put your 4s back in the holsters, people.
The driver was the only person in the vehicle in the pursuit during the time that we were overhead, and he must have dropped off his passenger at some point.
Gotta clear the vehicle before we're code 4. That's it. I think.
So sick.
They've sure been cutting the stream early on, hold on, let me pull up Desmond. Let me see if,
Headed by Tree. I mean, that's basically what stopped this thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he just drove right up to this, on the sidewalk, and ran into this tree where he couldn't go any further, and decided, I guess, you know, I have no other choice now to just try to get out the vehicle as calmly as best I can. For a moment there, I thought, though, Des, he kept turning around and maybe trying to walk forward. Like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to turn back around and put your hands up against the wall.
Those pesky trees getting in the way of the suspects, I tell you. Just in time for Earth Day, Mother Nature here coming to the rescue with this pursuit and getting this suspect into custody. They did just officially give the code 4. They got the trunk open, and so...
okay, now we're code 4. Now you can drop your 4s in the chat. Those of you that missed it, the suspect just crawled out the passenger side, put his hands on the wall, and was put under arrest. Now we're code 4.
That's a code 4. Thank you so much for that, Desmond. Okay, moving on tonight. After more than a year, a Russian-American...
All right, friends. Well, that is going to do it. That's a lot of 4s in the chat. If you guys are still here and for some reason you're not already following the Twitch account, make sure you do that and turn on your notifications in the event there is a chase in the future you want to know within seconds, because sometimes they don't go this long. So turn on your noties. More than half the people following this account I can see have their noties turned on. Good job by you. Also, at Skywob Alerts at the top left of your screen on Twitter is your backup, your failsafe. In the event a notification does not go out via Twitch, you will always get it if you follow this account on Twitter. birdsintheair.com for merchandise. Any, yes, I think I'm in the mood for a drink myself, since I don't have to be on the radio tomorrow. It's about that time. This was a long-ass week. Playoffs haven't even started yet. I'm already burned out. Doing like 5 police chases this week didn't help either. Travesty that I'm not doing real NBA live reactions with callers. I'm doing it every single night. Where have you been? 855 NBA Jump. Feel free to call in anytime you want. CBC chases. It is unfortunately too late for CBC tonight. We got to reset tomorrow. That was a good week of chases. Yeah, I got a good night's sleep last night. Might not even be enough. I got to rest the voice, but I'll be at the game tomorrow. And yeah, still got the show in the morning from 10 to 1, doing the post-game show for an hour and a half like we did tonight. Multiple chases, doing the Twitter stream at 3:15 on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Bleacher Report on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 until 3:40-ish. What else? Streaming is hard. I miss the days where I was writing. And you know what? Writing is the hardest to do. Like, writing is dead at this point. That shit took forever writing a good article, but now it's all just like streaming, and that's where technology has evolved to, or pivoted to. You know what? Your Bobo, is the moment I sit in those seats, you better believe, because they're really good. It's gonna be rate my seats at Worldwide Wob, and I expect everyone that knows the joke to get in there and critique me. If there's anyone on the internet who can take jokes, because I certainly dish them out, I promise there's nothing you can say that'll offend me. I've been getting yelled at since 2009. I'm numb to it. Get your takes off. My Twitter blood is made of iron and steel and adamantium. Now, I won't be on the court. I want to have feet on the wood. But I'll be hanging out with I don't know if through game time, but I'll be with Jeannie, obviously. Hanging out at the patio. We're gonna watch the end of the Knicks game, so I'm worried. I'm hoping the game's a blowout, one way or another, so that I don't have to be paying attention. Has Eliana's Instagram always been Ellie in the Helly? It has. That's so good. I'm worried about her though with all these helicopter accidents. Shizzo says, I called Sirius Line and was told they are not taking calls. Yeah, sorry about that. It's a different medium. It's a different medium, so I can't just like stop the show like I can reading comments on stream. If I don't talk for 2 seconds, alerts start going off that there might be a tech issue. It's radio. There's no visual elements to engage with. I always love the new followers in the chat. Genie Bus? Yes. Can you believe it? You always see like this dude's sometimes when I do put a video on Twitter or something and they see my face, they're like, that's what this guy looks like, and I'm like, oh my god. Like all that work that I put in for 10 years doing like actually creative stuff. Thankfully the longtime followers know and appreciate that, but there's got to be 500,000 people that just think I'm someone that posts rage bait on Twitter with my sneaker pics, because I'm just not doing the same type of content anymore. All right. Yeah, I've a lot of people have thought I'm actually Adam Silver. They used to say that this guy's 50 years old because of his profile picture. And the problem is now that joke is every day that goes by, it's getting more and more closer to not being a joke anymore. The joke, it should be this guy's 40, not 50, but people thought Adam Silver was me for like a decade. Like, I can't teach all of you. All right, friends. I'm saying I'm yawning too much. I need a hard seltzer. I'm out of here, my friends. Probably no chases tomorrow. Even if there are, I won't be around for it until nighttime, way late. So I get a day off for once. I'm gonna go watch World News Tonight in 60 minutes, like a true boomer, and have a World War II documentary to put me to sleep. Bye bye.